Hello, and welcome to the vlogging pod. What if the truth never even had a chance to make it to the ballot box? What if behind closed doors and classified networks, the outcome of the 2024 administration change before this administration took power was already known and then buried? A viral Reddit post that surfaced this week claims just that. According to the anonymous user who alleges ties to either the CIA or NSA, Harris actually came out ahead by a landslide. The post claims that an internal audit was conducted, revealing massive interference and manipulated outcomes, but that a mafia like network of intelligence, insiders, and foreign actors buried the report. It's a bold claim with no direct verification, no supporting documents, no whistleblower name attached. And yet it's spreading fast. So today's episode isn't about proving or disproving that post. Instead, we're going to explore why this kind of story feels not just possible, but believable in the political and institutional climate we now live in. First, let's be clear. This post appeared on Reddit with no identifiable sources. It could be a hoax, a troll, a fantasy, or a frustrated citizen spinning a theory. But what matters is that it's not being dismissed outright by everyone. In fact, many are nodding along, not because they have evidence, but because they've seen too many strange disappearances, too much silence, and too few real investigators. Harris' sudden concession back then without demanding a full recount or challenging the process raised questions even at the time. And now, with this new layer of anonymous insider intrigue, some people are asking if she knew more than she ever let on, if Biden and his administration knew that the outcome was tainted and did nothing, if they quietly walked away for political convenience or survival. What does that say about our democracy? What does that say about who's really in charge? And it's not like we're strangers to disinformation or hidden influence. In fact, during the same time frame, U.S. intelligence agencies confirmed there was a foreign interference from Russia, China, and Iran, designed specifically to fracture trust in American institutions. Misinformation networks flooded social media, oversight roles were gutted or defunded, including critical cybersecurity positions within the CISA and the FBI's own task force for foreign influence. This didn't happen in secret. It happened in broad daylight, and it left the entire process more vulnerable than it has been in years. So if someone came forward and said there was more going on behind the scenes, would that really shock anyone? Historically, we've seen government agencies engage in covert domestic operations before. Programs like Operation Chaos involved the CIA spying on American citizens under the guise of protecting national security. These were not fringe conspiracies. They're now publicly acknowledged as violations of federal law. So the idea that certain voices or candidates could be sidelined, even internally, isn't that far-fetched. The structure for this kind of erasure already exists. The only difference now is that the erasure may be dressed up in silence instead of scandal. Still, let's be fair. Right now, there is no solid evidence to prove the whistleblower's claims. No leaked files, no audio, no name. In any court of law or journalism, that's a huge gap. But it doesn't stop people from wondering, because what we've seen from both major parties is a pattern of self-preservation, of going quiet when it's politically expedient, or never really challenging power when it comes from the top. So if this administration did know something, anything, and chose not to act, what does that make them? heroes or cowards? It's not about Harris alone. It's about what this narrative tells us about our country. The voters on both sides no longer trust what they're seeing, that whistleblowers, real or fake, are now viewed as more credible than elected officials. That if a woman of color didn't win overwhelmingly and was pushed out of the machines bigger than ballots, the silence from Democratic leadership would be one of the greatest betrayals of this generation. And that's the real takeaway. Whether or not this specific Reddit post is true, the belief that it could be true is damning reflection of where we are. In a democracy where truth should be transparent and power accountable, we're instead trapped in shadows, whispers, and cover stories. And no matter which party claims victory next, if that doesn't change, then none of us really win. Today's sources for our podcast come from ex-CIA whistleblower. The NSA audited the 2024 election, and Kamala Harris won in a landslide. From Reddit. Russia, China, Iran accused of ramping up disinformation in the 2024 election. From news.com.au. 2024 General Elections Insider Threat Summary from the U.S. Election Assistant Commission. And Operation Chaos from Wikipedia. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now.